Hey guys, welcome to Planning with Crystal. Today's unboxing is the latest Cult Beauty edit. This is the Fragrance Discovery edit. So, as the name might suggest, it is a box full of fragrance. We're going to unbox it here today. I've purchased it myself, as I do with all of the Cult Beauty edits. Slide off the little slip cover, it looks like this. These are pretty well-made boxes. I know we're not buying it for the box, but I've got to say, these are pretty well-made boxes if you do want to use them for like storing things in. And I always think they make really nice gifts as well. This is on sale right now for £40, and it is said to be worth £119.60. Now, I will say right up front before we get into the unboxing, I do think there is a lot of small sizes in here, especially compared to other edits they've done where they've included like a full size, I mean like a 30ml full size, but still a full size. This is very much a lot of deluxe samples and travel size. So bear that in mind, and I'm not discounting that as we go through it. So I think this is going to be a bit of a mixed bag. I know from some of the comments I've had from you guys already, it's a bit like, oh, this is disappointed, so many samples. But actually, a lot of the brands that are in here that are kind of higher end, more expensive brands actually sell their samples. I'm not saying that I agree with that either, but what I am saying is people do buy sets with like 7 or 5 2ml sizes to try them and stuff like that. So in that way, it's kind of already expensive, and I would much rather try something out and have the chance to play around with it for a while rather than buying like a really expensive kind of full size without experiencing it properly. So if you're on the hunt for a new fragrance or you like to have a fragrance selection, it might be a good option for you. So let's dive right in and start having a look at what we've got in here. So the first thing I see is from Memo Paris, and this is Irish leather. So this is quite an expensive brand. It says Irish leather, gallop of the wind, juniper berry, green mate absolute, and leather accord, if that gives you any idea of what it smells like. So it's in a little squeezy bottle. This bit's glass and this bit here is plastic. Inspired by icy, biting Irish mornings, the sublime scent unites notes of resinous juniper, smoky leather, and herbal green mate. I quite like this. Like I said, Memo is quite an expensive brand, and I'm hoping there's going to be a bit of variety, and the fragrances are not all going to smell the same. I don't think they will. I find it kind of difficult to explain fragrances, and I kind of think it's a little bit pointless anyway. If you've got the scent notes, it will give you an idea of what it's going to smell like, and obviously it smells different on different people anyway, and what I like, you might not like, etc. I do quite like this. It smells like something a little bit different. It's 5ml or 0.17 fluid ounce. Then from KLI, this one is Vanilla 28 Eau de Parfum. This is 1.5ml. This is definitely firmly in the sample size, whereas at least the Memo fragrance was 5ml, so a little bit bigger. So this one has got notes of vanilla orchid, tonka absolute, brown sugar, amber woods, and musk. And this is what it looks like. It says a bouquet of jasmine and orchid. This aroma is underpinned by the sweet softness of Brazilian tonka. So like the tonka definitely adds that little bit of strength that you wouldn't normally get with like a vanilla type fragrance. Something a bit different. Then also from the same brand, we've got Yum Pistachio Gelato 33, which looks like this. We actually got this in the last fragrance edit I bought. This one is described as a sweet lover's dream. The fragrance is a saccharine explosion of pistachio, whipped cream, roasted hazelnut, fluffy marshmallow, and cotton candy. This does smell quite sweet to me. I quite like it actually. This is what it looks like. This one to me definitely smells very sweet. It's almost got like a childlike quality to it, if you know what I mean. It doesn't smell like a cheap synthetic fragrance. That's not what I mean at all. It's actually very nice. But it has got a real sweetness to it, which I do wonder if some people might find that a little bit much. It was kind of unexpected to me, but it's actually quite nice. Next up from Byredo, Mojave Ghost. So I'm pretty sure Byredo is one of the brands that actually sells these. I'm sure I've seen them on the website for about £8 for a 2ml size. If not, I'm having very strange dreams. I'm 99% certain I've seen this before. I should really have looked it up before I made the video, but I was just on a roll and ready to film. So this is what it looks like. It's 2ml. Like I said, Byredo, pretty expensive fragrance. I already really like this scent. I actually have it in like a hair perfume that I like to wear from time to time. It's just a really lovely one. So 2ml or 0.06 fluid ounce, and it's described as, this eau de parfum captures the raw spirit of the wilderness, playing with chords of musky amberette, powdery violet, amber, and cedarwood. I would not have described it like that, but then maybe that's why my job isn't like writing fragrance notes. Like I said, I like this. Out of all the Byredo fragrances, this is one of my faves. Then a kind of bigger size from Fugazi. This one is Thirsty. It says Extrait de Parfum, 8ml or 0.27 fluid ounce. It's a glass bottle with a bit of a chunky lid. And this is described as a summer loving perfume which marries the light breeziness of fruits and flowers with heady accents of cedarwood and musk. A tropical paradise awaits. I quite like this one. This one smells to me different from the others, which is good. So far, so good. There's been a variety of fragrances. This one smells to me like I have walked into a kind of tropical botanical garden. Like I get a little bit of, I'm out somewhere fancy. Like just imagine a big kind of glass domed effect with just plants and flowers. And it smells expensive. Like I've paid a high admission price to get in, and maybe they're sort of handing you glasses of champagne and everyone's really nicely dressed, and I like this. I like this one a lot. This is probably like a new favourite. I really, really like this one. So far this is winning for me, 100%. I've not sprayed everything all at once. I've been trying to like pace it out over a few days because otherwise, obviously you get a bit scent blind, you can't tell the difference, but yes, we like this one. Like it's a kind of fragrance that puts me in a good mood. Next, from Maison Marigala, this is the Replica Lazy Sunday Morning Eau de Toilette. I actually have this in like a travel size one, just simply because it's so expensive I don't want to buy the full size, but I really like it. It's one of my favourites from this range, and I really think it's like a really kind of cool range. I mean, I think the packaging is cool, and it's like a nice clean glass bottle, usually with like a white label on it. It looks really nice. We of course just get a little sample plastic vial like this. But lazy Sunday morning for me is like walking on a beach on a lazy Sunday morning. It's got a gorgeous kind of California freshness to it. I'm not saying that California smells like that in real life. When I went, it did not. But it's just like evokes that kind of cool Californian and by the beach kind of scent, if that was a scent, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. It's described as a snapshot in a spritz. It boasts notes of paracord and ambrette seeds blended with iris accord, rose petals and orange flower, which doesn't sound at all like what I described. The only thing I will say about this range of fragrances, so I think I was about to make this point and then got sidetracked, it happens a lot, is the whole range. There's names like the Jazz Club, obviously Lazy Sunday Morning, I think there's one called Beach Walk and things like that, and they've all got really kind of cool, almost like memories. I think that's the idea behind it. So instead of it just being a fragrance, it's a memory named after, like I said, Jazz Club, whatever. So I think Jazz Club's a little bit more maybe almost smoky and as you would expect from a jazz club, whereas like I said, this one is kind of more fresh and maybe beachy, and obviously Beach Walk's very beachy. But all I find with these fragrances is they do not last long on me. No matter what I do, they do not have a very long lasting scent to them, and considering how expensive they are, it's a massive downside. So I love it, I just wish it lasted longer. It says provenance and period Florence 2003, fragrance description soft skin and bed linen, style description memory and a fragrance. So that's not at all what I said, but I'm just telling you what it smells like for me. I will link all the fragrances below if you do want to check them out in any more detail. So next we've got a fragrance from Viro. I have got a travel size fragrance from this brand that I got in something, which sounds really random, but I can't always remember where I got things from. I think I got it from an advent calendar. Maybe the Selfridges one? Anyway, it's very nice. It's a different fragrance, but I'm impressed by its high quality nature, how long it lasts, and things like that. So all that to say, I'm excited to see something else from this brand. And this is called the Sixth. Again, we're going back to that traditional glass and plastic sample size. This at least kind of comes in a bit of a cool box. The Sixth, for mindfulness and intuition. And it's like a kind of slidey box. So at least they've made their sample kind of cool. It is 2ml or 0.96 fluid ounce. Flammable. Yeah, you're not kidding. It's perfume. Of course it's flammable. Made in England, eau de parfum. It's described as light and uplifting. The olfactive creation is infused with a multitude of sacred herbs, including angelic roots, juniper berry, apple, fennel and peppermint. So something, again, a little bit different. So if I'm going to give them props for anything, they've done a good job of giving us different types of fragrance. And actually, I mean, obviously I like some more than others, but there's nothing offensive smelling. You know, sometimes you smell a perfume and you're like, oh, that's awful. We haven't experienced that yet, so that's good. Next, from Joe Loves, this is Joe. by Jo Loves. We've spoken about this brand before. I've bought the advent calendar for a couple of years and unboxed it with you guys. So this is described as a deluxe size, but it's actually quite a decent size. It's 10ml or 0.338 fluid ounce, and I have had this size before, obviously in the advent calendar, but they also do like little travel sets and they include that size, this size with that. It's described as notes of refreshing grapefruit, bitter orange, lime and spearmint, which make up this bewitching blend. This is one of my favourites from the Jo by Jo Loves range, and if you're not familiar, Jo by Jo Loves is Jo Malone's brand. She sold Jo Malone a number of years ago now and then set up her own brand, and this is the brand. Very good, very high quality fragrance. Again, glass bottle, nice kind of white label and a metal lid. So this one feels a bit better because it's got that lid on. It makes it feel more like an intended size than like a sample. Next up, we've got a fragrance from Nest New York. This is something I discovered when shopping in Sephora many years ago in the US, and I do like these fragrances. I'm glad we can get them in the UK now. This one is Lychee Rose. It is 3ml or 0.1 fluid ounce. I do know the last fragrance edit we got from Cult Beauty also had a fragrance oil from Nest, but it wasn't this one. They have nice pretty bottles. It is glass with like a metal lid, and it's a rollerball, which is not my favourite way to apply perfume. If I'm not mistaken, perfume oil I don't think lasts quite as long on the skin as like a spray. I think I've got that the right way around. This is actually really nice. It is very rose, but like traditional scent of a rose, expensive rose, not like a synthetic, cheap smelling rose, if you know what I mean. The scent leaves an irresistible trail of floral and fruity notes, combining rose absolute and fresh lychee with the sparkling essence of pink champagne and a hint of raspberry. See, there's always so much more than you think. Next, a sample from Way. This one is Melrose Place, and actually, out of the whole box, I think this is the only perfume I've actually received as a sample before. So even though they are sample sizes, in a lot of cases, they're not samples I've ever come across, which is why I think this box, I'm not so offended by the fact that the sizes are smaller, because I think, well, actually, how on earth would I ever manage to try all these fragrances short of spending a day in the fragrance hall without having this box, because these samples aren't that readily available, certainly in my experience. Feel free to let me know if you've had a different experience. But I've tried this before. Melrose Place is described as a velvety, rich rose fragrance with hints of bergamot, lychee, cedarwood and white musk. It is very nice. Probably not my favourite from the range. I love the St. Bart scent. I don't know if they do that in a perfume, but it smells incredible. And it says it's beautiful on hair and pulse points. And it's a 1.5ml size, as I said, which is 0.05 fluid ounce. Then our only travel size of the box is from Eccentric Molecules. Again, we've spoken about this brand before. I quite like some of their fragrances. This one is the M Plus Black Tea Eau de Toilette, and it's in an 8.5ml travel size. This has definitely got a kind of musky smokiness to it. Again, it's in a glass bottle and it's got a metal lid and a kind of spray design. Shifting from lightly floral to addictively musky thanks to the woody warmth of ISO E, this unique and complex fragrance is hard to resist. And these are definitely not, like I said, run-of-the-mill average fragrances by any means. So the final perfume in the box is from Sana Jardin. And this one is Sandalwood Temple Eau de Parfum in a 5ml size. We are a luxury fragrance house that empowers women at the grassroots level. That's good, I did not know that. This smells really nice as well. Honestly, I've been loving a lot of the scents in here. So we've got to the end and there are no scents I don't like, which is pretty good. So this is what it looks like, a glass bottle, quite sort of chunky, and then it's got that plastic lid, and it's in a spray bottle. A powerful perfume, which unites sandalwood essence, cedarwood, atlas oil, and Haitian vetiver oil with a heady burst of Moroccan neroli and creamy vanilla for spellbinding effects. So that brings me to the end of the unboxing. Like I said, a really nice range of products in here. I absolutely get the argument for spend £40 on a fragrance you love in like a bigger size or a full size rather than getting all these samples. Absolutely, that might be what you want to do. However, for me personally, I've spoken about this before, I'm not great at getting to the bottom of a perfume bottle. I just seem to like the variety of having different fragrances. So this kind of suits me. Like I said, I wish they were bigger. I really do. Especially the ones that I really, really like. I'm going to be kind of gutted when I get to the end of the sample. But for me, I think this will work. Like I said, my absolute favourite is that Fugazi Thirsty. That I'll be surprised if I don't repurchase in a bigger size once I get to the end of it, although I've already got a lot of perfume, so stay strong, Crystal. Try not to do that. But there you go. So if you're new to Cult Beauty, you can get £5 off your first order using my discount code, and I'll put that in the description box below, along with links to the box and the products inside. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you're enjoying the content I'm producing. And I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to be notified when my next video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.